Kia ora, Internet.
This video comes to you in two parts. First, where I walk around and get extremely nostalgic. And second, the first time I walk around central Christchurch after the red zone has been lifted. But first things first, to the bush we go!
So yes, you've been lucky. I'm showing you the rest of my grandparents' garden. It's not really a garden essentially, it's more the rest of their section, which is beautiful original New Zealand bush, cultivated by my grandparents who are both very much into keeping the native land alive.
And so here we are in the depth of this wonderful New Zealand bush, stream gushing over yonder and birds chirping all around. So why am I showing you all this? It's a great patch of bush, sure, but there are heaps of others like it in New Zealand. I guess in the wake of leaving the country in like a week, I'm really enjoying reminding myself of where I grew up and essentially where I came from. I played here all the time as a child, even though we live in a totally different part of the country, and that really sticks with you. I remember that time when my grandfather trapped a possum, and that weird time when we saw fish in the stream. There are heaps of other places that I have great childhood memories like that. But I guess actually being in the spot where they happen makes you super nostalgic and just sort of look at how far you've come and where I'm going.
It's also a little sad that New Zealand used to look like this, well, pretty much everywhere before it was all torn down by colonial settlers. Which makes me all the more grateful that my grandparents have preserved this wonderful patch of land for us, the next generation. Sliding down the hill. So I don't entirely know where I'm going. I have been lost 4 times already. Let's see if this ever actually gets posted to the internet or not. I'm not gonna lie, this is starting to feel a tad Hunger Games-esque. Thank goodness no one is actually trying to kill me. I made it!
So after that, it was off for a drive to the middle of Christchurch, what was once the middle of a beautiful city, which then became the red zone, and is now just this kind of weird place where there's a city, but it doesn't look like one at all. In the middle of it all is the cathedral. With a once towering spire and one of the most beautiful churches this country has ever seen, it now looks an awful lot like ancient ruins. It's not been there for 1,000 years, but it's got this strange derelict feel. The grass has run rampant, and there's even moss growing on bits of rubble that have just been left there. When I say it's a city, but it doesn't look like one, I'll give you an example. There are now just so many empty spaces covered with gravel, or really deep holes, that used to house tall buildings that tower over you, that are suddenly just gone. You kind of don't realise it till you get there, and even then it's hard to put your finger on. You're standing next to a multi-storey hotel, which has an empty lot next to it, which next to it has an empty shop that's still got spray paint on it from when they cleared the building after the earthquake. And then there's the cute little new Regent Street, which now just ends and opens up into, well, nothing. Obviously a whole lot has been cleared since the February earthquake. It's now been nearly 2.5 years. And then you just kind of think, wow, that could have been me. I could have easily been raised in Christchurch, and just as easily been walking through the busy streets of a Tuesday lunchtime when that fatal earthquake struck. On a much lighter note, I now have a Facebook page for all my internet's goings on. There's a link to it in the down, and if you like it, you'll get notifications about my new videos, and maybe some other cool stuff going on right in your Facebook newsfeed. So from a Laura who's done a lot of deep thinking today, and probably far too much walking, ka kite anō. If you want to see more of me on the web, there are links to all my social goings on in the down, and you know, you can always click that subscribe button if you want to.
There's a clock tower with no clock.